What is up, sports bettors? It is Matt Modi with OddsJam. What I'm going to do in this video, give you my best player prop prize pick entries for Week 1 NFL between the Bills and the Rams. Best prize pick player prop entries. I'm going to be using a couple different pieces of software to identify great entries to add, great selections to add to my entry. Number one, of course, being OddsJam. I have up player receptions here. There's going to be a couple things that I'm going over in this game to identify the best ones to add, while also, of course, using the OddsJam Props App. Incredibly exciting stuff. As of today, the OddsJam Props App now has NFL player props on it, so you can check out NFL player props. The OddsJam Props app is currently only available on iOS, but any iOS device is good to go. Mac, iPhone, iPad, you can download the player prop app, the OddsJam Props app. So the way it works is if you want to look at a prop, see how this player performed last year, you can see how they performed in every single game. You can look at home versus away. You can look at it in a win versus a loss. And then, of course, you can change over under depending on what you're betting. Pretty cool stuff. So let's get into it. My first one, my favorite one, is actually going to be the player passing yards prop for Matthew Stafford. So PrizePicks is pricing his player prop for passing yards at 265.5. But we see every other sportsbook except for MGM price this number above this amount. Caesars has it at 267. With OddsJam, the OddsJam line being pulled from Pinnacle, and FanDuel having it at 268.5. So basically telling you they think that Matt Stafford's pricing for his passing yards specifically should be above this 265.5 number. So that's one check in favor of taking it over. Now, let's go to the props app and let's see passing yards for Matthew Stafford. Last year, he went over this total in 15 of 21 games. The implied odds for Matthew Stafford to go over his yardage total, and this is actually set at 267.5. We are getting it, if you remember, at 265.5. So I actually need to lower that amount, which is cool, which is what you can do. 265.5, click done. Same total. So at no point in no game did he have in between 267 and in between 265, which is fine. But regardless, he's gone over this total in 15 of 21 games last year. His first year with the Rams, they won the Super Bowl. Pretty good year. If you want to look at it at home, in 7 of 10, applied odds of minus 233. He only missed it in 3 home games. Every other game, he actually went above this total. So everything kind of adds up to Matthew Stafford going over his passing prop total of 265.5. So I'm going to add that to my selections. I'm going to go to passing yards, Matthew Stafford, and I want to take more than 265.5. I love this also for football reasons. My guess is why this total is so low. If you just look at DVOA last year, which is kind of a good way to measure a team's unit, the Bills had the number one. So I want to look at defense. The Bills had the number one passing defense in the entire NFL, but they're missing Tre'Davious White in this game, which I think is a big deal. They're also starting a rookie cornerback in Kyer Elam, which everybody says, aside from cornerback is the hardest position to start as a rookie. So I think he's going to struggle. So I love getting Matthew Stafford to go over his passing prop total of 265.5. So that is my first selection. The next one that I am taking is Allen Robinson. I'm looking at his player receptions to go over 4.5 receptions. So the OddsJam line prices this at minus 160, but the implied odds of getting it on PrizePicks is at minus 137. So we think, based on the OddsJam line, which is pulled from Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, that it's more likely that he goes over his total at minus 160 odds, but the implied odds of PrizePicks are only minus 137. So this is another way in which you can use OddsJam to identify profitable selections to add to PrizePicks. You can either do it by looking at the total. As we saw, PrizePicks had Matthew Stafford's passing yardage total lower than what the OddsJam line did. In this case, we are looking at the implied odds, where the OddsJam line Pinnacle Sportsbook thinks it's significantly more favored to go over 4.5 receptions. So I'm going to go and add that. I want to go to receptions. I want to go to Allen Robinson, and I want to click more than. So here we have it. My two favorite selections: Matthew Stafford over 265.5 passing yards, Allen Robinson over 4.5 receptions. My favorite prize pick selections for opening night of the NFL season. Very excited for football to start. And then just for football reasons, I think Allen Robinson, obviously he had a bad year last year. No way around it. Had a horrible year last year. This is the best offense by far, the best quarterback by far that he will be playing with. And with how good Cooper Kupp was last year, I find it hard to believe he's going to repeat that success this year. So my guess is that the Bills will load up trying to stop Cooper Kupp. And I don't think Allen Robinson is toast. I think he's still got some left in the tank. So I love him getting 5+ receptions. So anyways, I forgot to add that as part of my reasoning. But regardless of my two player prop entries, again, Stafford over 265.5 passing yards, Robinson over 4.5 receptions, and that's going to be it. So I'm going to go ahead and lock this in. For those of you tailing at home, let me know. Would love to hear it. Other than that, would appreciate a comment, a like on the video, and if you could subscribe to the OddsJam YouTube channel. But that's it. So everybody, enjoy the NFL. Happy betting, happy watching, and good luck.